This is a progression of the back anchor zone, so if you don't feel confident that you can connect your back anchor to the floor and maintain that connection while breathing, then I recommend you spend more time there because this is an added challenge, and I do believe it is one of the most valuable lessons in phase 1. So as you can see, I have my back anchor connected because there's a nice straight line between my ribcage and my pubic bone. However, my chin is jutting out a little bit. So in a little bit of a review from yesterday, we want to bring that chin down, but don't let it cause the ribcage to flare. So we want to bring that ribcage down and connect it to the floor and maintain the neck in a nice lengthened position in the back. We're getting taller here. I'm just breathing into it, relaxing into the position, and meditating. And you're going to have a little more tension here in order to maintain that connection. So it's not full relaxation. We're relaxing with a little extra energy in our core. And when you're ready, you can go into the progression, which is going to be increasing the pressure of the back anchor zone, pressing it into the floor even more so that it becomes a fulcrum. And what happens is your pelvis will unweight. So right now I'm pushing it down even more into the floor using my abdominal muscles, and my pelvis lifts off the floor. What's really important is the distinction to be made between lifting your pelvis up and actually pushing away to cause it to elevate. Okay, I'm not lifting the pelvis. I'm not using my legs to lift my pelvis, and I'm not even having the intention of lifting my pelvis. A lot of this is about the intention, and so the intention is to push away, simply push away from the back anchor zone. And if you do that with enough force, enough effort, then something's got to give, and what happens is the pelvis elevates. You can also think about using the abdominals to pull the pubic bone up towards the sky, but this connection here does not get lost. If you lose connection with the floor and your back anchor zone, it's game over and you need to start over. And if you have trouble elevating your pelvis off the floor because maybe you don't have enough strength or endurance in your abdominals, that's okay. Like I said, it's about the intention. So continue to have the same intention of elevating the pelvis. And even if it doesn't come off the floor, but you're just unweighting it a little bit where it's still touching, but less pressure on it, that is accomplishing the same thing and you're going to get the same benefits. So have the intention of pushing away from your back anchor zone to elevate the pelvis and breathe into it. And this is a position you can just remain in for a period of time and just breathe into your lower back, and it can offer some incredible relief. And you can continue to progress this. And this is the point at which we add limb movement to our first anchor. So what you're going to do is, while maintaining that connection and the pelvis elevated, you can just begin to gently march your legs. And if you look, I'm still maintaining my pelvis off the floor, and it kind of shows you that I'm not really using my legs to accomplish this. I'm actually able to lift my legs up and march them, and nothing changes here. I'm stable, I'm steady, and my abdominals and my core is turned on and engaged. So this is an excellent progression that you can spend another 5 minutes on this. And when you get up off the floor after doing this, you're going to feel a change. You're going to feel relief and improvement, and your core is going to be a little more activated. So get down on the floor and connect to your core.
Back anchor progression. Okay. So the first thing you want to have done and spent a lot of time doing is the back anchor awareness, where we go from ribcage flaring. Right now, my ribcage is not flaring. So my back anchor is connected to the ground. And so I'm already connected. We have a nice flat line here. So that's good. I'm using my abdominal engagement to hold my, there it is. That's bad, right? So that's where often a lot of us are starting out. You probably realize that you lay down, passively lay on the ground. You're going to have your ribcage flaring up. It's also flaring in the back, not touching the ground. These are things I'm just repeating from the video. So we're going to engage our abdominals, pull it down, connect the bottom of the ribcage and back to the ground. So we're there. That's day 2. So now what we want to do is we want to engage even further in just that same motion that you just did. No different. Is to bring that ribcage down. We're going to do that even harder. So turn that intensity up. So you can turn it up to 100% if you want. And just same motion, press even harder into the ground. So you now brought it down and just touch the ground, and then you're just going to bring it further into the ground and press into it. Well, when you do that, this becomes a fulcrum, and something somewhere else is going to lift up. When you press a fulcrum into the ground, something's going to lift up. It's going to be the pelvis. If you don't have enough strength in your abdominals to do that, that's okay. You want to stay in the lane of having that simple intention, and it is intention because we have to maintain that intention of ribcage down, into touch the ground. Now, intention remains the same. Push further into the ground. And we're learning how to engage our abdominals a little harder and bring that pelvis forward. The entire pelvis, pubic bone, and everything is shifting forward. Okay, don't have enough strength to do that. What do I do? I'm not accomplishing the goal. What do I do? You can then bring your glutes in and help out with your glutes, because your glutes, you would bet, are strong enough to squeeze your glutes. And you can even, gently push into your legs a little bit and just gently elevate that pelvis off the floor. Like unweight it. It doesn't even have to lift off the floor. It can just be feel lighter against the floor. So there's less pressure of your pelvis pushing into the floor. But the key is that back anchor, this bottom of the ribcage in the back, which is right here, is still connected. That's the difference between this and the bridge. So this stays connected. This is the fulcrum. We're pushing away from it with both our abdominals and our glutes, and the pelvis just becomes a little bit lighter. If you can do that, you've accomplished the lesson. This is not a big, crazy movement. It's a very subtle, simple movement. And then you just learn how to breathe. And your pelvis is a little lighter, and you're breathing with the engagement. This is exactly what I'm doing. It's hard to tell what I'm doing because I'm not doing much. I'm just engaged and I'm breathing. And this is the boring process of the journey out of back pain. The journey out of back pain does not involve extreme things. It does not involve doing yoga moves. It does involve learning how to stabilize your core so that you can then go do yoga moves without hurting your back. But there's extreme exercises or, like with large amplitudes of movement or high intensity things are likely what got us into this place in the first place. And so we have to do the boring stuff. We have to do the stuff that we haven't done before, which is just like, all right, how do I stabilize the spine? I'm going to engage it. All right. How do I learn pelvic control? It's called lumbo-pelvic rhythm. How do I learn that rhythm? Well, it's very boring stuff. It's like, well, babies had like a year to do this, at least 6 months to a year to learn this control because they were just laying on their back for that time. Well, that's how we did it. We were laying on our back. We were lifting our pelvis off the floor. They can do it very easily. And they are developing that core strength. So it's the boring stuff. It's not a lot of movement. And then, you can, if you get strong enough, your pelvis can elevate off the floor. Like what is happening right now, there's a little, maybe 1 inch of space between the back of my pelvis and the floor. That takes strength because I'm lifting weight, right? My pelvis and my upper legs, they have weight to them. So my abdominals and maybe a little bit of glutes are lifting weight now. All right, now let's see if we can add the next step, which is, all right, can I learn independent limb control, limb movement while maintaining this connection? That's another layer on top of this extremely boring, not very much happening, very simple exercise. Simple, but not easy. Don't get that confused. It's very simple and boring, but it's not easy. And the hardest part might be how boring it is and how it doesn't feel like you're doing enough, doing much. But I promise you, and you probably already learned this yourself, going to the gym or some class or some program where you're doing lots of big, crazy movements without this control, this core control, this spinal control and support is how we hurt ourselves. So we have to break it down to the most basic, fundamental stuff first and learn how to develop spinal support and control. And then we add movement to it. And this is what we're doing in this exercise. We're beginning the process of adding single limb independent movement with maintaining of that core engagement.